Hey there, Portland area landlords and property managers. If you've ever stared at a stack of rental applications wondering whether you're doing this screening thing right, especially with the market feeling a bit flat and renewal rates staying strong, you're not alone. This is one of the most common topics that lands in our PAROA helpline queue. Folks want to know exactly what they can and can't ask, how to stay consistent so a fair housing complaint doesn't show up in their inbox on a Friday afternoon, and what documentation actually protects them when things get scrutinized. In today's Portland metro environment, strong screening isn't just a nice-to-have. With high renewal rates often around 85% in recent data and softer rents in some segments, every good tenant you place means lower turnover costs. Think lost rent, advertising, make-ready work, and the general headache of turning a unit. Poor screening, on the other hand, can lead to late payments, damage, evictions, and yes, legal exposure. The good news? A clear, consistent, well-documented process helps you pick reliable tenants who stick around while keeping you compliant with federal, state, and local rules. Let's walk through exactly how to do it right in 2026. Why strong screening matters right now in the Portland market. We're in a period where good tenant quality directly supports cash flow stability. High renewal rates are great, but they only happen when the original screening set everyone up for success. A tenant who pays on time, respects the property, and doesn't create issues for neighbors is worth their weight in reduced vacancies. On the flip side, one bad placement can cost you thousands and eat up time you'd rather spend on growing your portfolio or actually enjoying life outside of landlord duties. Current legal landscape for screening in Oregon and Portland. 2026 updates. Let's start with the foundation so you know exactly what's changed. Federally, the Fair Housing Act protects against discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, and disability. Oregon adds marital status, sexual orientation, gender identity, and other categories enforced by BOLI. Then came the big 2025 update. Senate Bill 599 made immigration or citizenship status a protected class in housing. Landlords generally cannot ask about an applicant's or household member's immigration or citizenship status, with narrow exceptions for certain federally subsidized programs like Section 8. You also can't reject someone simply because they didn't provide a social security number or prove lawful presence, and you can't threaten to disclose immigration status to harass or retaliate. Building on that, House Bill 4123, effective early June of 2026, added strong tenant data confidentiality protections. It defines a broad category of confidential information that includes social security numbers, contact details, financial and employment info, immigration or citizenship status, medical or disability records, and more. Landlords generally cannot disclose this information about applicants, tenants, or household members unless they have separate written consent, a valid court order or judicial subpoena. Administrative requests usually don't cut it, or it falls under specific operational exceptions like running a background or credit check during screening, handling repairs or utilities, responding to a reference request from another landlord, or certain affordable housing compliance or insurance or legal needs. Knowingly violating this can lead to statutory damages up to twice the tenant's monthly rent, plus attorney fees in many cases. The key for screening? Your background and credit checks are still allowed under the exceptions, but be thoughtful about how you store and handle the data afterward. If your property is inside Portland city limits, you also layer on the Portland Housing Bureau's rules under City Code 30.01.086. These include specific requirements for notices, screening fee limits, income to rent ratios capped at 2 times or 2.5 times rent, depending on the unit's affordability relative to 80% median family income. Be sure to download the latest 2026 minimum income requirement table from portland.gov/phb, a 72-hour notice of unit availability before accepting applications in many cases, priority processing for mobility-disabled applicants on accessible units during the first 8 hours, and a 30-day appeal process after denial that can pre-qualify the applicant for your other properties for 3 months with waived screening fees. You must provide specific PHB notices, the modification or accommodation notice, and the application and screening rights and responsibilities. Notice and follow first-come, first-served processing order with careful time-stamping of applications. These city rules add real nuance. Check whether your specific address falls under them. Staying organized with a clear written screening policy and decision log helps you apply the same fair standards to every applicant while protecting your business under Oregon and Portland rules. And now a couple shameless plugs. Hey, if you're a Portland area landlord, Come join the community over at www.paroa.org. We've got education, forums, networking, and we fight for your rights at the legislature. And for owners in the Portland Metro or Central Oregon looking for hassle-free management, check out the pros at www.nwrpm.com. Okay, with those resources in mind, let's dive deeper into building your written screening policy that keeps everything defensible. Building a written, consistent screening policy, your best defense. Here's the truth. I just go with my gut, or they seemed responsible, doesn't hold up well if someone files a complaint. A written screening policy that you actually follow consistently is your strongest protection. It shows you treat every applicant the same way, which is exactly what fair housing laws expect. Your policy should clearly list objective criteria in order of review, usually financials first, income verification, credit, then rental history, then criminal background with an individualized lens. Examples that work well for many Portland Metro landlords include income. Follow the current PHB table limits where applicable, often 2 to 2.5 times rent. Verify with pay stubs, tax returns, or other reliable sources, and include all verifiable income sources. Credit. Set a minimum score, many use the 600 to 650 range, but allow for explanations on older issues, medical debt, or student loans, and look at the overall picture rather than one ding. Rental history. Positive references from prior landlords, no recent evictions, respecting COVID-era protections under SB 282 that still limit consideration of certain 2020 to 2022 actions, and reasonable payment patterns. Criminal background. This is where individualized assessment is critical per HUD guidance from 2016 and the 2022 memo. Blanket. No felonies ever policies are risky because of potential disparate impact on protected classes. Instead, consider the nature and severity of the offense, how long ago it happened, the applicant's age at the time, evidence of rehabilitation, and current tenant history. Give applicants a chance to provide mitigating information. Portland rules also prohibit considering certain old records, many misdemeanors over 3 years, felonies over 7 years in some contexts, arrests without conviction. Apply the exact same standards to every single applicant. Review applications in the order you receive them when possible. Document your decision matrix, simple spreadsheet columns for applicant name, date, and time received, income ratio met, credit notes, rental refs, criminal assessment details if any, mitigating evidence considered, and final decision with brief reason. What you can and cannot do or ask during screening. You can ask for identification to verify identity and run legitimate screening like credit or background checks, but accept a wide range of ID per SB 599 guidance, SSN card, ITIN, passport, driver's license, even if expired in some cases, green card, or reasonable combinations. You cannot inquire about immigration or citizenship status. You cannot reject someone solely for not providing an SSN or proving lawful presence. Avoid any questions that touch protected classes, disability details beyond the reasonable accommodation process, familial status in ways that discriminate, source of income in prohibited ways, and so on. For criminal checks, focus on convictions relevant to tenancy, violence, property damage, drug activity that threatens safety, rather than old or unrelated matters. Always give applicants the chance to explain negative information. Step-by-step tenant screening workflow for Portland compliance. Here's the practical flow that keeps you organized and defensible. Start by advertising the unit and posting any required 72-hour notice of availability under Portland City rules, including screening fee info and a criteria summary if you're charging a fee. After that, prepare and provide a complete application packet. Your written criteria summary, the PHB notices for modification or accommodation and rights and responsibilities, fee disclosure, and opportunity for supplemental or mitigating evidence. Then collect applications and the screening fee only when a unit is available and per the fee limits. Portland caps based on whether you use a screening company or do it in-house, and state rules under ORS 90.295 also apply. Remember, actual costs or customary amounts, provide a receipt, and generally one fee per applicant per 60-day period across your units. Log every application with the exact date and time received, and process in receipt order. Review objective criteria first, income, credit, rental history. Run compliant background and credit checks through a reputable FCRA compliance service. For any flags, especially criminal, conduct and document an individualized assessment. Invite the applicant in writing to provide mitigating evidence within a reasonable time frame. Make your decision. If denying based in whole or part on a consumer report like credit or background, you must send a proper FCRA adverse action notice, including a copy of the report and a summary of the applicant's rights. Communicate the decision in writing, approval or denial with reasons, within required timelines, often within 2 weeks in the Portland context. For Portland properties, clearly explain appeal rights and the 30-day window. Finally, keep everything organized. Applications, reports securely stored, decision notes, notices sent, and any mitigating evidence provided. Good screening leads to great tenant matches, reliable people who pay on time, care for the property, and often renew, supporting stability in today's Portland metro market. Documentation and record keeping that protects you. This is where many landlords get tripped up. Keep records of every application, the criteria you applied, your decision rationale, especially any individualized assessments, copies of all notices, and communications. Secure storage matters under HB 4123. Don't casually email or share confidential details. Retention of at least 3 to 5 years is smart, since fair housing complaint windows are generally 2 years federally but can be longer under state rules. A simple decision log or matrix saves you when questions arise months or years later. For example, an entry might read, applicant number 47, income 2.3 times rent, which meets policy, credit 610 with explanation of old medical debt accepted, rental ref positive, criminal, 8-year-old nonviolent conviction with strong rehabilitation evidence and steady employment since, approved with individualized assessment documented. Adverse action notices and applicant communications. When you deny based on a consumer report, the FCRA requires specific notice. Even when not strictly required, sending a clear written explanation of why the application didn't meet your criteria is excellent practice. It reduces misunderstandings and shows professionalism. For Portland properties, follow the denial and appeal notice requirements. Keep copies of everything you send. Portland-specific nuances and PHB rules. If your property is in Portland city limits, the extra layers matter. Follow the 72-hour notice, timestamp applications, respect mobility disability priority on accessible units, use the current income ratio table, provide the exact PHB notices, and honor the 30-day appeal and pre-qualification process. Common pitfalls that generate helpline calls and how to avoid them. Inconsistent application of criteria, different standards for different people, is a big no-no. Subjective decisions without documentation. Asking prohibited questions about immigration status or other protected classes. Over-relying on arrests that didn't lead to convictions or blanket criminal bans without individualized review. Ignoring Portland's appeal process or fee limits. Poor record-keeping when a complaint lands. The fix? Written policy plus consistent process plus detailed notes every single time. Practical tools and next steps. Use reputable, FCRA-compliant screening services that understand Oregon and Portland rules. Integrate this with strong lease drafting. We'll cover that more in future content. Create or download a quick reference checklist for your team. Confirm notices provided, criteria applied uniformly, decision documented, notices sent, records filed securely. Strong screening is ultimately about saying yes to the right tenants more often, people who pay reliably, care for the property, and renew. In a flatter market, that stability compounds into better long-term returns and fewer headaches. Get your policy written, train anyone who touches applications, document like your business depends on it because it does, and you'll be in a much stronger position. So tell me, what's your biggest tenant screening challenge or question right now? Drop it in the comments below. I read everyone and it helps shape future videos. Hey, if you're a Portland area landlord, come join the community over at www.paroa.org. We've got education, forms, networking, and we fight for your rights at the legislature. And for owners in the Portland Metro or Central Oregon looking for hassle-free management, check out the pros at www.nwrpm.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Mr. Portland Landlord YouTube channel for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.